Woo-wee, strap on your seatbelt. Some of you might have problems with what I'm going to talk about today, but I talked about my 2026 predictions. Well, I gave them in 2026, but they're unfolding as we speak. I've got so much information for you, and it's really exciting. But one of the subjects in those predictions is the spiritual awakening. What doors will it open? And it's actually going to open paranormal doors. I'm going to talk about what that means, why it's not to fear, and it's one of the most powerful things that's going to start happening more and more. You may already experience this, and I am very excited to tell you why spiritual awakening will open paranormal doors and the power that it wields. You're going to love this. Let's go. Welcome to Landria, Onkka on YouTube. I'm here to help you break through the fears, and that's one of the major things that stops us from doing anything into that unknown realm that is all powerful, that you are equal to, and everything you think and believe about it is. So if you fear that paranormal world, then you will connect to the lower frequencies that do exist in it. Everything exists, of course, in the world of source, which is all things, the darkness and the light here. If you go hanging out in the basement in the alleys, you're going to run into some dark entities. And I'm going to show you how the paranormal doors are opening on the highest levels, and you're going to tap into powers you never imagined that you hold. And here's what I keep telling you. Don't get caught in the trap of those who continue to speak fear, predict fear, and have you in the same loop what movie stars are doing and what the government's doing. And I'm going to show you what we're doing, and it's going to be mind-blowing. So we're going to talk about something that's going to sound strange at first, but I want you to stay with me because my prediction for what's coming is this. Spiritual awakening is going to open paranormal doors. You've been taught your whole life to fear. It's unknown. Don't go there, but I'm going to show you why the fear was never the point. Nothing's in stone, but I want you to hear this before it really comes out, and it is coming out. There's a reason paranormal experiences are becoming more common right now. It's not what you think. It's not the veil is thinning in some vague mystical way. It's physics. And by the end of the video, you're going to understand exactly why, how to use it, and how you can actually start to focus on the things that are so expansive instead of the things that are keeping you in the fear loop of lack, anxiety, poor health. We're stepping out of it. So everything you were taught to fear about the paranormal, ghosts, UFOs, the unexplained, orbs, none of it was ever the threat. None of it. Let's be honest, the fear was the control mechanism. And in 2026, that mechanism stops working. We stop believing it, and we realize there's something out there so amazing and beautiful that we can tap into that is trying to communicate with us now. You may have noticed it. Some of you are experiencing this. Yes, it's a little scary. It's unknown because we have been programmed to fear it. Why? It's powerful. And if we go into that space, we can do things that no money or material world can buy. So you've been programmed, dread, evil, danger, something to suppress. Fear was cultural conditioning, not truth. Why? It kept you away from your powers. Don't go into that space. We'll go on Ouija boards and go to people who tell us our horoscopes, and we're not tapping into our own inner power right here that we control in a higher space. There's been debate for decades about what paranormal even means. We talk about UFOs and we're finding out they aren't exactly solid craft. Ghosts, UFOs, synchronicity, so precise, they can't be coincidence. And every time the cultural response has been the same. Be afraid, look away, it's evil, demons. Our vice president even said that. That's a little scary. But he's been programmed too, so he's not to blame. Are you believing it? Because your reality is yours to choose. They are all one thing, a signal that reality is bigger than the 3 dimensions we've been told to trust. We aren't 3 dimensions, we're endless. So I'm going to bring up Federico Faggin's rendering theory as the bridge between woo and legitimate physics discourse. And this remains a contested position in mainstream physics, even though it's proven that our attention creates. All right. If you go into fear, you will connect to fear. If you go into a high frequency, you will connect to the source of all love, all wonderful things, healing, joy, abundance. It's all there. There's no limits. All that we connect to is rendering the material world. What are you focused on? It exists. You want to bring it in? You got to get out of fear. So Federico Faggin, I bring him up a lot. He's the physicist and engineer who invented the microprocessor. Billionaire, super amazing guy. And I wanted to know, what did he actually experience? He spent the back half of his career arguing that consciousness isn't produced by the brain, it's fundamental. He calls it rendering, not creating something new, but bringing into existence what already exists as probability. I want to be honest with you, this is not mainstream position in physics. But then since when do they know everything? Most physicists still treat consciousness as an emergent property of the brain. And we are not the physical world. The conscious world of the quantum field creates the physical world, and we're starting to understand that. It's proven, and scientists still call it woo-woo. But Faggin's framework and the observer effect research, observer effect, what you focus on, you create. Not just what you look at, what you truly believe. So you can want abundance all day long and you can focus on it. But if you believe and think lack and you expect that to change this, it cannot happen. It's a real easy formula. So I wanted to find out, what was that mystical experience that Faggin actually went into? Because this is documented. Federico Faggin's primary mystical experience he often refers to as his awakening or first vision. It occurred in December of 1990 during a Christmas skiing vacation at Lake Tahoe. Super wealthy guy. At the time, see, money doesn't fix everything. At the time, despite his massive success as the inventor of the microprocessor, Faggin felt existentially empty and unhappy. We hear this all the time, right? Struggling to understand how physical signals in the brain could ever produce subjective feelings, or qualia, as he referred to it. The experience began suddenly when Faggin woke up in the middle of the night and felt a powerful rush of energy emerge from his chest. He described this energy as a shimmering, scintillating white light. It was a broad beam of light that felt alive and beatific. The essence of love. He experienced this energy as an incredibly powerful, intense love that surpassed any previous notion he had of the emotion. Self-knowing, the energy was not just a sensation, but possessed its own intrinsic conscious knowing of which he was connected to. This energy then exploded, expanded to embrace the entire universe. He was awake when this happened. At this point, Faggin realized that he was not merely an observer of this light, he was the light itself. He noted several profound changes in his perception. The disillusion of separateness. Having always seen himself as a separate observer of the world, he suddenly found himself as both the observer and the observed. I have experienced this, by the way. Many people have, and we know this is true reality. The substance of reality. He felt a force of truth that convinced him that this love energy was the actual substance out of which everything in the universe is made. An undeniable reality. The experience felt more real, objective, and true at all levels of his being, physical, emotional, and mental, than ordinary everyday life. We've heard this about near-death experiences. And those of you who have experienced what I'm explaining right now know that is true reality, and it's endless forms. When we change our focus from whether Britney Spears is a clone or not, or aliens live in underground bases and they're taking over, and we're worried about this religion and that faction, you are still in the trap of distraction. When you focus on this power, you go into it and you start to create what is the oneness of all things and love, and you will live in that world. You will spread it. Other people will feel it. This beautiful, loving light that envelops everybody in the room, and everybody starts to feel good. They're drinking the Kool-Aid, right? And so all of a sudden they realize, I don't care about that. I don't need a car to be happy. I don't need all these things. I want to give. I have a garden. I'm not going to protect it for myself. I'm going to tell people everyone is welcome, and you'll live in that world, and you can call that woo-woo. And that is another name given to squash spirituality. Oh, it's woo-woo. Tree huggers. These names are all meant to program you to say that's not normal, don't be a weirdo. And then we're talking about it, and then we have other program people saying you're crazy. And then, of course, we shut up and we squash the beauty of the light and no more. Why the doors are opening now, the collective consciousness shift is going from the inner 3D world ignorance. And I said we're violent people because we're trying to protect things. The ego just tries to protect itself. It's not evil. We're not evil. We can be evil, but we can be perfect and loving too. Well, when we go into one consciousness, we realize everything, as Federico Faggin explained in his experience, is one thing. So you would battle yourself, you would destroy yourself, you love everything equally as you do yourself because you realize there is no separation. Spiritual awakening and paranormal get worked into spoken content naturally, and all of a sudden it is one thing. So remember, spiritual awakening is a measurable shift in how many people are questioning consensus reality at the same time. And so we're shifting in a space where all of a sudden orbs start showing up, crafts start showing up, beautiful miracles are appearing, time shifts are happening. You're experiencing miracles because now you're letting go of anger and blame and all these stories in your head. Go down to my free webinars. We examine those stories where they come from, and you will see them differently. You will see the teachings in everything you've experienced that you think is horrific. There are millions of stories out there where people turn things around, but only when they let go of the conscious restrictions placed on us through the stories we've heard that create the patterns and the loop we stay in. I'm poor now, so I'm going to focus on poor. I don't have. And then you stay in it. Let's get out of it, because that new thought is going to go into what might be paranormal. What is that? It's just all things. And you have to go into the high frequency, and you will not run into any low frequencies. And if you did, you'd say, not welcome here. Leave your baggage at the door. When enough observers start asking different questions, quantum theory tells us that the probability field responds. So we are powerful in numbers. That's not fear language. That's observer effect applied at scale. That's real. What's the big payoff? Here's what I want you to remember. What you've called paranormal was never a threat. It can't be. It's part of one. It's the source. How can it be a threat? Yes, there's different levels. You don't have to hang out in the basement. That doesn't threaten you anyways. It was proximity. Proximity to the quantum field you're already a part of, whether you've acknowledged it or not. That's still paranormal. It's everything. It's the physical. It's the one. Do you feel it? That pull toward things you can't explain. You're not fearing it anymore. That's not something invading your reality. That's you getting closer to source. This isn't new information. Voices across decades have pointed at this exact convergence. We're in it. We're past the tipping point. There's no future event. You're in the event. But I'm not here to compile predictions today. I'm here to tell you what it means for you right now in your body in this life. So if something strange happens this year, and it's going to happen more and more, a synchronicity too precise to ignore, a dream that felt more real than real, I want you to do one thing. Don't push it away. Ask what it's rendering. What's it giving you? It's always going to give you higher and best. But if you hang on to this, you'll stay there. And that's free will choice. Can you turn the story around? Of course you can. I help you do that in my webinars. That's our mission. You and I get to do it together. I know some of this challenges what you were taught. That's the point. Keep that awareness as we move into where this is heading. Now, remember, if anybody tells you anything that's limiting or there's only one way, they are in a box. They are confined. They are programmed. If they're telling you predictions that will come true over all others, same thing. I gave you predictions. I gave you real ones. You don't have to live in them. You can give a completely different prediction, or you can believe the ones that Nostradamus and Edgar Cayce gave that were horrendous. They were based on the frequency of that time and warnings so that we would change them, because their messengers were the same thing I'm saying today, is that we can choose anything in the universe to connect to because you and it are one. So here's my prediction for 2026. Paranormal experiences will increase. Do not battle them. Not because reality is breaking out, but because more of us are choosing to see it and we're not in fear. Governments and institutions built on fear-based narratives, they're going to lose grip. They already are, not because they're overthrown, but because fewer people will buy the story. We're bored with it. I don't have the time for it. Nothing's in stone. But I want you to remember that you're a sovereign creator and you get to create your reality. So please subscribe. Give this a thumbs up if you like it. If you felt one of these paranormal signals yourself, drop a comment. I want to hear what you're experiencing. I'm going to tell you some things that are happening in my next video that are going to be mind-blowing for you. I'm talking to people in different industries, and the word is that we are changing, including the financial, the energy industry, health and wellness. Things are happening massively, and those in the old world see it and know that they have to make some changes. I'm hearing this. I'm going to share some of those real scenarios happening now, that whole world is changing. It is not collapsing in the way you think it is. It's dissolving and being replaced. It isn't going to be this horrible thing where everybody is destitute. No, because there will be others that are preparing for that, that have the gardens, that have the wealth, that are doing other things with it and going into abundance, doing good things. How are you earning your money? I gave up my career. Yeah, I said, you know what? I got to do something I really believe in. I want to give a voice to entrepreneurs. I work for a television network. I do casting and I have my own businesses. Why? Because everything I do is to show you how powerful you are and that there's nothing to fear. And if you experience it, it's just part of the human psyche that we have been given, that we have been blessed with to give us the contrast to know it. We're going into this era in an amazing, huge way. And those of you who are still on my channel arguing with each other, you're choosing a side. There aren't any. And when you realize that, you'll show the compassion to those who are coming from fear and anger and striking out. And those of you who say nasty stuff to me or anybody else, I bless you because I know you are in pain somewhere. You're angry and you want to strike at people who you feel are weak, but the spiritual, they are meek, not weak, and the meek shall inherit the earth, and they're going to share it. So get ready for that. It's happening bigger than you can imagine. I'm going to start sharing some of those things that are happening in our videos coming up. So subscribe, please share. Those of you who haven't read my book, you might want to check it out. It tells you what you are. We don't talk about the material world. We talk about the essence of what you are and the tipping point happening right now. Are you ready for that? Go down and get my free webinar. It says free inspiration. I have several emails coming over to you where I'll give you some more trainings on how to change that story, step out of fear, and you will experience the paranormal in a way that is so beautiful. It's waiting for us to join it. Make sure you're in the penthouse, not in the basement, because you're a whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Blessings to you, my friend. That's from the Master Key System. You might want to read that powerful book. Namaste.